The ring felt heavier the moment he slid it onto my finger. At first, I laughed nervously, thinking it was just the nerves of the wedding day. It was gold, simple, flawless, beautiful in every way. But the warmth it radiated wasn't comforting. It was alive, almost predatory, as if the ring itself had a pulse. Everyone at the ceremony admired it, commenting on its perfection, but I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling in my chest. Later that night, I tried to remove it. My finger had begun to swell around the band, pulsing rhythmically, and no matter how hard I tugged or twisted, it wouldn't budge. Panic started to creep in. I called for my husband, expecting comfort, help, maybe reassurance. Instead, he gave me a slow, almost satisfied smile. "It chooses its wearer," he said softly, leaning close. "And once chosen, there's no escape." I froze, staring at the ring, and then I heard it. Not a voice, but whispers. Thousands of them, echoing from deep inside the metal. Promises and threats, a language older than the house itself. They weren't gentle, they weren't comforting. They were claiming me. I thought of the other brides I had heard about in hushed whispers, women who had vanished, never spoken of again. Their lives had been sealed the moment their rings were slipped on, their identities swallowed whole by the house and the object meant to symbolize love. I tried to rip it off, to free myself, but the ring pulsed like a living thing, tightening slightly, as though aware of my struggle. Every heartbeat drew me deeper into its influence. That night, I realized the truth. The ring was not a promise of love. It was a seal, a chain, a mark of possession. And once the house has claimed you, there is no returning. The dress fit perfectly, and that should have terrified me. It was my husband's family heirloom, passed from bride to bride for generations. Stitched with lace so fine, it seemed to move slightly as I walked. The moment I put it on, the house itself seemed to shift around me. The air grew heavier, warmer, as though the walls were leaning closer, watching, alive. After the ceremony, I went upstairs to change into something else, expecting the fabric to release me, but the zipper refused to budge, and the buttons froze under my fingers. Panic surged. I called for my husband. He stood in the doorway, calm, almost predatory, a thin smile on his lips. "It helps brides settle in," he whispered. Shadows moved beneath the fabric, stretching along the walls. I heard soft, patient whispers calling my name. I realized then that the gown didn't trap me. It claimed me, merging me with the house. Every bride who had worn it before me had felt this pull, had been folded into the walls, becoming part of the house's legacy. I struggled, but the gown tightened like it had teeth, pulling me closer to its origin. The air smelled of old perfume and smoke, and the warmth of the fabric pressed against my chest as if it wanted to take my very soul. I sank to the floor, exhausted, and for a moment I understood. The dress wasn't a garment, it was a ritual, and the house had chosen me. Marriage was no longer a bond between two people. It was a surrender, a giving up of identity, freedom, and life itself. From that day on, I have never tried to remove it, and the house feels calmer now, satisfied. Every step I take in that dress reminds me of its power. Every time I look at the mirrors, I see brides who were claimed, still stitched into the fabric of the house, staring at me, smiling. The veil smelled of dust, of old rooms, and of secrets too heavy to name. My husband's family insisted I keep it on until midnight, telling me it would protect me, but the truth was far darker. The lace brushed my cheeks during the ceremony, and I felt fingers that were not my own tracing my skin. Shadows moved beneath the fabric, twisting unnaturally, forming shapes that I could not see clearly. I tried to lift the veil, to breathe, to look at the world beyond it, but my arms refused to obey. The room was alive, the walls watching. Every bride who had worn this veil before me was there, somewhere, waiting, silent, hungry. I could feel their presence, feel them counting the moments until they could take me. When midnight finally arrived, the veil loosened slightly. I lifted it and looked around, but the room was empty. The walls were lined with portraits, brides I had never met, all wearing the same veil, their eyes hollow, their faces frozen in eternal expectation. The veil had hidden my doom, not my face, and I understood the horrifying truth. Marriage in this house was not love. It was a feeding ritual, a trap. Every groom was complicit, every bride was prey, and I, like the ones before me, was marked to become part of it. I turned to my husband, but he was gone, leaving only the veil and the house, waiting to claim me entirely. I realized that this was what marriage meant here: not union, not trust, not love, but surrender. And once the house has chosen, you are no longer free.